In this video we will be testing the Prince Vortex 300g version. It's the 2021 model, and just like in previous experiments, we'll be using the Pro O Dampener and placing it at 3 different points on the string bed. So for the first experiment, the dampener is at the bottom of the string bed. The second experiment will be halfway up towards the bottom cross string. We call it the midpoint. And the third and final experiment, it will be resting on the cross string. So the string we'll be using for this experiment is called the Solinco Tour-Bite Diamond Rough. It's the 1.25 version, the 16L version, and reflecting on it, it should be a little bit softer than Wilson Revolve 17 that we've used in the past. Not as soft as Head Sonic Pro. I thought another stat that stood out was the deflection at 33.3 inches, which is a lot higher than Revolve's 32.1. So we'll test it, we'll see if it has an effect on the serve consistency and the serve speed, and give it a rating after that. So let's do it. So for the low dampener, the data came in as follows. The average serve speed was 64 miles an hour, the maximum serve speed was 91 miles an hour, and the serves in percentage was 41%. So nothing too spectacular about it. I thought the string bed felt very soft, as expected. It was supposed to be softer than Wilson Revolve, but I felt like it had a negative effect on the consistency. It was difficult to place the serves, and the serve speed didn't make up for it. So 64 miles an hour on average, again, is too low to be usable. Reflecting on all of that, out of 100, I would give this a 43 out of 100 rating. So yeah, not great, but let's move on to the next experiment. Hopefully it will improve. For our next experiment, we had the dampener at the midpoint, and the data came in as follows. The serves in percentage was 50%, the average serve speed was 72 miles an hour, and the maximum serve speed was 95 miles an hour. So a massive improvement over the previous setup, which was the low dampener, and I wasn't expecting that big a difference, to be honest. I was very pleasantly surprised, and reflecting on how it played out on court, I felt the string bed was a little bit stiffer. It felt easier to place the serve, whether it be down a tee or out wide, and the higher deflection or the higher launch angle, it is noticeable out on court, so that was interesting to test. For the rating out of 100, I'm going to give it a 57. So that's the highest that I've rated on this channel so far, and I'm really happy with this setup. The lighter racket also is noticeable. You can swing this through the air quicker. So all in all, a massive improvement over the previous experiments. And yeah, let's move on to the final experiment. For our final experiment, we placed the O dampener at the bottom cross string, and the average serve speed came in at 69 miles an hour, the maximum serve speed came in at 94 miles an hour, and the serves in percentage was 43%. So an improvement over the low dampener setup, but not quite as good as the midpoint. Out on court, the string bed felt well, in my opinion, it felt the stiffest out of all 3 setups, but I thought I could place the serve quite well, whether it be down the tee, out wide, or even at the body. So some positive signs there. Out of all 3 setups, this was probably my second favourite. Still very usable, but the average serve speed at 69 miles an hour is lower than what I would usually accept at 70 miles an hour, but if you take this out onto court, you won't be disappointed. You can still play to a high level, and it's pretty cool to use, much lighter than the rackets I usually use. So to get this racket through the air with that increasing swing speed, it was interesting, something I'm not used to as much as maybe some other players are. But yeah, pretty good overall. The rating out of 100 is 51, so for me that's pretty good, and of course there's some room for improvement, a lot of room for improvement, and that's exactly what we're going to do here on this channel. So if these experiments are of any interest to you, be sure to check them out, and if they're not, then cool, either way it's all good. So yeah, we'll see you in future. Happy hitting.